Steve Parker Limited. I'd like to introduce the power steering conversion we've been doing, the electro-hydraulic power steering conversion. We use it in conjunction with the power steering conversion we've done for the last few years. People was asking us about putting power steering on standard engines, because the original conversion was done for conversion engines where there was a pump already on the engine. So we looked into doing another system, and this was the best one available. We looked at several different pumps. They were either too complicated, not powerful enough, complicated from a wiring point of view. So we settled for this one from the BMW R50, R52, 53, manufactured between 2001 and 2008. When you come to source this the components for this conversion, you need the pump unit, the mounting bracket, which looks like that, and the main power harness. If you can't get that with the pump, we can supply them separately. They're not in the conversion kit, but we can supply them if need be. If you get a pump that's unserviceable, worn out, seized up, or whatever, it doesn't matter, because we can get reconditioned units. Providing we've got an old unit to exchange, we're okay with that. The installation will fit Series 2A, Series 3. Series 2As up to 1967 were positive earth and were fitted with dynamos. Later ones were negative earth. If it's got a dynamo fitted, there's not enough power in a dynamo to be able to power this system up, so you need to fit an alternator. Series 3s were all negative earth. They were fitted with alternators, but they weren't powerful enough. They're only 35 amp. We can get a high output alternator, which is available, and it will power the hydraulic system, no problem. The only sort of downfall with this system is there's a 5-second delay when you turn the engine on, because the way that it's wired up, you start the engine, and once the engine's running, then the pump starts. We don't want the pump drawing the current from the engine, because the engine's got to have it first, then this runs up afterwards, once the engine's running. The 5-second delay is the time it takes for the pump to spool up to pressure. And really what it boils down to is you get in the vehicle, start the engine, put your seat belts on, and that's around about sort of 5 seconds and you drive away. The original vehicle, the BMW Mini, had the same problem, but it's never been a big issue really. When we first put the kit together, we had a lot bigger delay than that, sort of 10, 12 seconds, which was unacceptable. So with a lot of engineering and a lot of development work, we've got it down to 5 seconds. Since the Mini has 5 seconds, you'll never get any better than 5 seconds. The location of the pump is quite critical. We use the BMW Mini bracket with the rubbers, and then we have a bracket underneath there, I'll show you that in a moment, which we supplied to put it onto the top of the chassis. The original pumps had a reputation in the Mini of failing, mainly because they were in a bad location, and they were in a hot location, and they used to overheat and burn out. But obviously that's not going to be an issue with us. So we can get the reconditioned units, which is a good thing. When we fill the system with fluid, we've got to use the green cold climate power steering fluid, because that's compatible with the pump and the steering box. Both of the items made by ZF. We have checked up that Land Rover do approve the green cold climate fluid to use in this steering box. I'll just go over now and show you the conversion kits. We just need to move the camera and show you what's in the conversion kit. This is the main power extension cable, because the battery will have been moved to different locations. If it's right hand drive, it's got to go under the seat. If it's left hand drive, it can stay where it is. That's a switching harness that switches the unit on and off as required. That's a fuse holder and the fuse, which we use to joint the cables together from the BMW Mini one and this one. This is a bracket we supply now, which will go between the Land Rover chassis with all the fixings, nuts, etc. And then we mount the Mini pump bracket on top of that. This is the filler pipes. We drill a hole in the front panel to get from the reservoir to the pump, then with no nasty kinks in the pipe work, and it keeps the reservoir out of cold draft. That's your main power pipe with a clamp to hold it to the pump, and then that's the filler pipe back up to the reservoir. So that's your circuit. So fill, power return. The kit's been quite a successful kit. We've developed it a couple of years ago, and it's worked out quite well. We can do it for left-hand drive and right-hand drive. Left-hand drive is basically the same, except there's a difference in the part lengths and a couple of other minor things, but it's just basically the same system. So obviously this is a right-hand drive vehicle, but it's just the same for a left-hand drive vehicle. Main advantage of a left-hand drive, of course, you don't have to move the battery. So thanks very much for your time, and thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye now.